Should MGOs get bonuses if they meet or exceed their goals? In today's podcast, Richard and I answer that question and discuss how MGOs should be treated so that they will want to stay with your organization and work with donors over a long period of time, something that is quite rare in the nonprofit sector. Join us as we answer what managers should do if their MGOs are high performers.
Welcome to the Nothing But Major Gifts podcast from Veritas Group, featuring Richard Perry and Jeff Schreifels. Twice a month, we bring you the latest and best thinking about major gift fundraising, so you can develop authentic relationships with your major donors. Here are your hosts, Richard and Jeff.
Welcome to the podcast today. Richard, we have a very delicate subject to talk about.
Very delicate.
We're going to tackle whether or not major gift officers should be paid bonuses or incentives in their work.
Oh boy, Jeff, we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of MGOs and CEOs and managers who have come up to us they want an answer. They just want to talk about it. I mean, if you are an observer from the outside, you would think this would make sense to give high-performing MGOs bonuses or incentives, if they make or exceed their goals, kind of like what we do in the commercial world with salespeople. I mean, it's logical. Why wouldn't we do it?
Well, until you actually think about this.
Right.
By figuring out, what's the best thing for building a relationship with a donor, then it's not so good.
No, it's not.
So I think we should just state up front that we're against it.
We are.
It's not.
And by the way, it's not because we don't want major gift officers to be paid fairly.
No, not at all.
As you'll see in a minute.
Yeah.
But here's why we're against this. I mean, first of all, we've said many, many times before that fundraising is not about the money. And if you've heard us talk about it and you have this stray thought that's basically like, oh, those guys are just saying that.
Yeah.
No, we really in our hearts and in our spirits believe that. Fundraising is about helping a donor fulfill their dreams and passions and their care for the planet. It's a way that, money's a way a donor makes good things happen, on their behalf. It's a result of a donor wanting to do good. So it's not about the money. So that's the first big philosophical point.
If you're putting an incentive or a bonus based on money, then you've lost the whole idea. No. This is about building relationships.
It is.
Not money.
It is. And so because fundraising at its core is not about the money, then the dynamic between the donor and the MGO and the organization is relational.
Yes.
And it's focused on what good can be accomplished. So like when you make it about the money, you degrade the relationship into a transaction. I mean, if you actually stop and think about that, as you're listening to Jeff and me talk about this, I mean, you're taking this very precious dynamic of a relationship and you're degrading it. You're actually spinning it down to this. I don't know. It feels very negative to me. I mean, it's very, very, very transactional.
That's the way it is, transactional to me. Which kind of leads into the next thing is, by paying an MGO extra money or an incentive, then you're in a sense you're taking the MGO's gaze off the whole relationships thing.
I know,
and they're thinking, okay.
What do I have to do?
What do I have to do to get my money, to get the reward? Yeah, exactly. So this whole thing should be around building the relationship, helping them grow in that relationship so they continue. The money will be a result. You'll see higher donor value, retention rates, all of those good things. And if you're just focused on trying to get at a certain number so you can get that year-end bonus money, the whole thing from the donor relationship goes away.
It changes it to a very superficial and money-oriented thing, and the donor's going to sense that. The donor's going to sense that there's been a change, or there's been a shift in the relationship, and like you said earlier, it results in higher value attrition, higher donor attrition, and by the way, that actually means less money.
That's right.
And so the very thing you want, you're paying the MGO a bonus, is you're actually causing the very thing you don't want, namely less money. So it's really, it goes counter to what you're trying to do.
And then it could also then, this is a weird one, but it's true that if you're being paid bonuses on the revenue you're bringing in, you could then be steering the MGO just to the high money donor in their portfolio and saying, I don't care about any of the other donors.
Well, think about the logic of that. I mean, that's what I would do, wouldn't you?
Well, let's just say you had a goal of $1 million for one donor, but then you find out this donor actually wants to give 5. But you're not sure when it's going to happen. All of a sudden, all you're focused on is this one donor.
Right.
For $5 million. You'll make your budget with this one donor.
Right.
Right. I'll get my bonus. So you spend all this time and then, the donor doesn't come through. Well, what happened? All these other donors you've neglected.
It very much will force the MGO to focus on high payoff donors. It also, Jeff, encourages manipulation and shortcuts. Now, you might not believe this is true, but when a payment for performance drives MGO behavior, when that drives it, the MGO will be tempted to force kind of the acquisition of gifts at any cost, like we've already said, and using almost any method.
Yeah.
Now, it is true that some MGOs will kind of be constrained by their own sense of ethics and so on all of that. But I'm telling you, we've seen this behavior before, and many times that the shortcuts, the manipulation.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, and this is why we don't like it, is it actually produces a negative reaction in the MGO, a negative attitude, a negative spirit, and it causes an end result that is actually not positive economically.
Right.
So why do it? Now, somebody listening would say, well, okay, sounds like you guys are really down on giving any MGO any kind of compensation. No. What Jeff and I believe is that you ought to pay the MGO an outrageous salary.
Yes. So if they're good, pay them.
Pay them. And we use the outrageous on purpose. In other words, above market rate.
So here's what happens in a lot of nonprofits. Yeah. They have these grades of pay. Mm-hmm. And so you have this really, really good MGO who is just killing it. And
they're keeping all their donors.
Yeah, but then you can't pay them a certain amount because that will make them more than what a manager gets or that person. We're like, that is so bizarre. It's like HR has all of these things that you got to, and so there's a lot of MGOs that are being paid less than they should because they have all of these rules
and standards
about how much they can pay a certain grade level.
Yeah.
They put an MGO at a grade level. Look, we know in the for-profit world that if you have a great salesperson, those salespeople make a ton of money.
Make way more money than, I remember the story of starting the domain group back in the 90s.
Yeah.
When Tim and I started that direct marketing agency that became one of the largest in the country and in Europe. The two first people we hired, we paid those two, Tim and I, the owners, paid those two people more than we ourselves were paid. And they were actually paid more than us for like 2 years.
Right.
Why? Because we were focused on the talent and the performance. And this is what we're suggesting here is pay your MGO an outrageous salary. And if you pay them well, that will have a great return.
And then also supporting their work. Give them the infrastructure, because let's just talk about why are some of these nonprofits going out and trying to do bonuses and incentives. They're trying to keep them. They're trying to keep the MGO.
Right.
Well, instead of doing the bonus thing, pay them well, but support them. Give them the infrastructure. Give them admin assistance. Make sure that they have offers that they can go to donors.
Put the money and effort into that.
Support them so that they feel like, gosh, this is such a great place to work. So, and then give them that a freedom. Give them an environment where they feel like, hey, I don't have to be locked into an office. I can work from home if I need to. I can be off. I don't have to check in every minute, because if you got a great MGO, they're meeting their revenue goals already, right?
Exactly.
So what do you care that they're in their cube or in their office, 8 hours a day? You shouldn't.
So
support
Jeff,
that person.
we've talked about this quite a bit, that what keeps people employed. And we experienced that at this diner that we were at this morning.
That's right.
Where we're recording here in Los Angeles. But it's like, why are those people that, like, we talked to one server that's been there 25 years.
Yeah.
And another person that's been there 45 years.
It was incredible.
And another person that's been there 30 years. And we said to her, and so we were asking questions. That was this morning. And we were saying, oh, what's going on here? Well, they treat us well.
Yeah.
And what have we discovered in the major gift world? That the MGO that stays is not only paid a fair compensation, but even more so, they're treated well. They're supported well. They're providing an environment of freedom, of liberty, a spirit of generosity and graciousness. I mean, who doesn't want to work there?
It's interesting about all the people that we talked to at that diner. Mm-hmm. Not one of them said anything about what they make.
No, they didn't.
None.
I know. We were just shocked. I mean, it's like, wow, that's amazing. So if you as a manager, you're solely focused on the money, the donor's money or the MGO's money, and you fail to provide support, a culture and an environment that the MGO needs to thrive in, then you will see your MGO running out the door and you'll see your revenue drop. Yeah. I mean, we can predict that as sure as we're here today. So that's why we're saying you should purpose to change that, really. And so that's our whole rationale as to why you shouldn't pay incentives and bonuses.
Yep. Well, thanks for joining us today. We have a free white paper that we want to give to you. We want you to go to veritasgroup.com and go to the download section, and you'll see a white paper, and it's entitled Evaluating and Rewarding MGO Performance.
Nice. Yeah.
It's perfect.
It is.
So download that white paper. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us for the Nothing But Major Gifts podcast from Veritas Group. Richard and Jeff also write an ongoing blog that you can subscribe to for free at veritasgroup.com. Please join us again next time.